Hi, this is Pastor Brian from the Williamsburg, Yale, and Newport News Seventh day Adventist churches. This month of February, we're starting a new series entitled Help, I'm Married. We want this to be a shame free zone to explore topics that might help you and me in our various relationships, but especially in our marriage. What we talk about might reinforce what we already know, help repair what's been broken, or reveal the secrets to successful relationships. Today, we want to answer the question, what does it mean to be one flesh? How can two people become one? First, I think it's important that we know what one flesh doesn't mean. One flesh isn't a loss of personality. It isn't melding personalities in a type of sci-fi inspired hive mind, nor is it relinquishing control over to one dominant ego by a permanently submissive person. I need to make that disclaimer because of how easy it is for people to twist scripture in the area of relationships. Too many are guilty of using the Bible to justify abuse. So the concept of one flesh is first introduced in scripture in the story of Adam and Eve in Genesis 2. For Adam and Eve, the one flesh experience in many ways was literal, since Eve was made from Adam's rib, according to the story. Today, our experience of one flesh is different. For us, the one flesh experience is something that must be worked out by two individuals who will never quite fit perfectly together. This is where I find Ephesians 2 especially illustrative. Ephesians 2 outlines the process Jesus uses to create unity. I'm convinced that the best way to unity and oneness in any relationships, including marriage, is to emulate Jesus. So how does Jesus create unity in Ephesians chapter 2? Here are 5 action steps to becoming one flesh. Step 1. To be one flesh, we need to reduce the distance between us and our partner. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 13. It's hard to be one if you were never together. One of the first things we observe when counseling with a couple is how they sit together. How we inhabit physical space reflects the depth of our spiritual bonds. So, in a practical sense, proximity might be the first step towards intimacy and becoming one flesh. Step 2. To become one flesh means we remove the walls. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 14. Boundaries are great for establishing individuality. But if we want to create a group, the big walls must surround the community, the group, not simply the individual. So there will still be parts of you that are private. You don't need to be this open with everyone. In fact, only a few people have earned the right to know your intimate self. But to become one flesh means that you've broken down the walls that divide. Step 3. To become one flesh requires that we repeal the laws. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 15. To become one flesh means you have to be working from the same script. And to get that one script means abolishing things from both your backgrounds and establishing new rules that work for you both. It's impossible to establish a new relationship based on the rules of your old relationships. Both of you are from different backgrounds. Your families did things differently. And even if you share commonalities in age, religion, culture, and education, there will still need to be a conversation around rules, roles, and expectations. One of the best gifts you can give your partner is the opportunity to build new rules that work for both of you. Step 4. To become one flesh requires that you remember your identity. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 15. Celebrate your team identity. Do you have a couple name? Celebrities aren't the only ones with couple names. My wife and I have a couple name, Shelter. I hope you see the combination of Sheldon and Terry. Do you have a motto or mission statement? Do you have a song that's meaningful to you both? Is there a special spot that has great significance and is sacred? What about holidays and traditions that reflect and reinforce your values? Teams do things that reinforce their identity, and couples need to practice the same thing. This is a great way to remember that together you make an awesome team. Step 5. To become one flesh, we need to renounce all hostilities. Ephesians 2, verse 16. Don't let hostilities fester in your intimate relationships. Things left unsaid and unresolved will be the undoing of any relationship. The strongest kingdoms really have nothing to fear from external attacks as they do from internal strife. Don't ignore warning signs or sweep things under the rug. Yes, you can't solve everything immediately, but unity is enhanced when we can trust those with whom we are the most intimate. Which step do you need to practice in your relationship? I see some couples are great at doing things together. Others are excellent opening up to each other. I've seen some wonderful couples model how they created their own constitution that works for their family by taking elements from their background but making sure it all worked for them. There are beautiful couples that wear matching clothing, have their family emblems and slogans, name their kids composite names, all to reinforce their identity. And couples who last long, being deeply in love, know that practicing forgiveness is essential. Which one of these steps are you doing great with as a couple? Talk to your spouse or significant other about the steps. See if there's a step that you've been skipping. Be intentional about it for a week and see if it made you feel closer to your partner. Join us as we journey into the depths of relationships this February. And if you're in the Williamsburg area, register for our relationship renewal seminar. This will be a great opportunity to renew your oneness together with your partner. Details on registering can be found at our website listed below. Tomorrow, our topic will be, what does it mean to be naked but not ashamed?